Hi, my name is Francis Alexander, and I'm number 1.
My name is Jenny Fellow, and I'm number 2.
My name is Connie Francis Alexander, and I'm number 3.
I'm Brian Allen, I'm number 4.
I'm Reginald Gabriel, number 5.
And I'm Anish Martin, and I'm number 6.
Okay. And this is Autavia Alexander, and I'll be giving a persuasive speech about the death penalty. So first, I just want to give some information. Some people don't refer to it as a death penalty. Some people refer to it as capital punishment. And basically, capital punishment is the lawful infliction of death among criminals, and it's been used to keep people from doing crimes, because if you do a crime, then you'll die. Basically, that's what the courts and laws are trying to instill in society. Say if you do something wrong, that you will go to jail and then they'll kill you, basically. Before the death penalty was brought about in the early 1700s, 1800s, when someone committed a crime, no matter how little or petty it was, you were either, like, if you hurt someone, then you were, like, starved to death. But if you, like, say you took something that wasn't yours, like, they just, would make you hang there for so many hours. Like, they would, what you call, torture people back in the day. Then they, like, if you was something really bad to where you really, like, kill someone or kill people, then you were put into a field, and the guards that were working at that time, each person was able to take a shot at you, and they'll keep shooting you until you're dead. What I want to point out as well, this is a big issue too with people, and when it comes to the death penalty, is that they say, oh, well, more blacks are being executed than whites, and that is true. As of 2011, we have 56% of blacks that are being executed. 35% are Hispanic, and we have the little 2% that are white. And we have 77% of Asians, which I thought was kind of weird, getting executed as well. And most of these victims that result in the death penalty are mainly white. There are 35 states who agree with the death penalty. Among them is, of course, Texas, South Carolina, North Carolina, Oklahoma, Oregon, Kentucky, Kansas, and you have other few like Florida and Georgia. So it's mainly like the southern states all agree with the death penalty, and then as you go up north and like Midwestern, they don't agree with taking someone's life just because it took someone else's life. And I kind of agree with that only to a certain extent. Like I said, like a serial killer, then of course I think he should be executed. Someone who like killed like one person or something like that, then no, they shouldn't be executed. I mean, it all depends like how they kill. Like, there's a lot that goes into my opinion, like how they killed the person, and if the person was close, if it's like a family member or something like that, then that would change me to either execute them or not if I was a judge. So I couldn't be a judge, and we have to put someone on the death penalty. As well, there are people who have mental illness who are also executed. We had recently another woman, her name was Kelsey Patterson, and on May 18, 2004, she killed her husband while he was asleep. She was a schizo. This is already known before she went to court. She did not plead guilty because of mental illness. She was already a schizo, and she was executed in 2006 by lethal injection. As well, we had another woman. Her name was Charlene Singleton. She killed her husband, and she was a schizo as well. She lived in Arizona, and hers was coming from abuse, and she was also doing a lot of stuff that she wasn't supposed to be doing, and so the state scheduled her execution a year later. So she was only in prison for a year, and then she was executed. As well, they do have people who they put on the death penalty, and then right before they're, like a couple weeks before they're executed, because you get the chance to appeal when you're on death penalty, you get I think 3-6 months, you get the chance to go back to the courts to try to extend it, and come to find out a lot of those people are innocent. And so that's kind of scary too. It's like, I was about to die, but I'm innocent, and like you don't find out until like 3 to 6 months before you pass away. So and another thing I want to point out was I can give an example of a wrongful conviction was in 2007, North Carolina. A black man was put on death penalty for touching a white woman, and he was dating a white woman, and then he wound up. They said that he wound up killing her, but it wasn't him. It was her husband. He caught the black man and her in the house, and so they were trying to say that the black man killed the wife, but to come to find out, it was the husband that killed her. And so they find out people to write letters, and the husband finally admitted to it. They got him to admit to it through a little investigation, through a little cord and microphone. And so 3 months before the guy was about to be executed in North Carolina, he was found not guilty. He was released. And so he had to deal with that, try to fight the court to get his name back, because it was put in the papers, murderer and all type of stuff like that. So basically, when it comes to the death penalty, I'm very, I wouldn't say in between, but it all depends on the circumstance. I was reading the U.S. Gov, and they were stating that right before the 1990s, that many people were the courts were trying to take away the death penalty because they thought it was against the U.S. Constitution. So that still is an issue, but it's not as big as an issue right now because people being executed has went down. So far, in 2010, which is last year, we only had 38 people that were executed compared to 2006 when it was 53. The highest amount of people that were executed in 1 year was 108, and that was in 1999. So it has kind of went down. So it is an issue, but not as big as an issue as it was back then. So I just thank y'all for listening to me, and just letting me talk about the death penalty. And then if you guys have any questions or you want to express your feelings about the death penalty, just let me know how you feel about it. So. Because it's a very controversial issue at this time. So, any questions?
Yes. I'm for the death penalty only because working in the healthcare field and working with people that do have psych issues, the doctor will automatically tell you when you're off of your meds and when they add a medication to any anxiety medicine, those are the side effects. And now, if you're not going to take your medication, they tell you the side effects. They evaluate you every 90 days, and they tell you, what to expect or whatever. So that's why you have to stay on your medicine. So I'm for the death penalty because if you're not going to stay on your medication and do like you're supposed to do and go to your meetings and do what you need to be treated just like anybody else that went out there and done something. So there is no excuse in that a person has 4 personalities and they'll let one of those personalities go and go stab somebody. No. Still, as a person, as a human, they did wrong. So I'm for the death penalty.
Well, I don't believe in the death penalty because God said thou shalt not kill.
No.
And I still believe God said thou shalt not kill.
Amen.
If God wants them to die, I think God will take them. That's the end of my story.
Okay, well, I just thank y'all for giving me your opinion, and I thank you for listening to me about the death penalty. Thank you guys. Have a good night.